we're just walking in the wild land of the elephants. Well, it looks like we have officially entered Elephant Land. We just passed a sign with an elephant on it saying to look out for it, which means they could be all around us, right?
Yeah.
We could be spotting them. We're about 2 hours into our drive up north. We have secured a spot to camp tonight, and from there we will hopefully get a nice opportunity to go and see some elephants. A special type of elephants, I must say, but more about that later.
Yeah, we're sadly gonna miss today's drive. It's at 2 o'clock and I'm not gonna race here or even go the speed limit because the road is so horrible. And especially when there's like the possibility of a lot of animals around. Like already this morning I had to take a full stop when a small squirrel or meerkat, it had like a bit of a tail for sure, like a bushy white tail. It's like completely white. And it was just standing up and staring at us in the middle of the road, so I slowed down and then I noticed like this thing is not going away, so I did like a full stop. I was like, oh my god, did I hit it now? But then I saw it run away. Like, you have to be like very attentive on these roads here.
We're about 1 week into our Namibia road trip, and the long stretches of gravel roads just keep fueling our journey. Just this morning, we left Spitskoppe, Namibia's steepest mountains, where a spontaneous encounter with a photographer led to this risky climbing mission. And before that, we got to know what it's like to camp in the world's oldest desert and walk on the iconic red sand dunes. If you like adventure travel, watch our earlier episodes. But now, hundreds of kilometers to the northwest, we were finally crossing into another dimension of this otherworldly nation. The one where animals roam where they are not supposed to. Second fire!
Yeah, this is something I really enjoy here. The fact that you can just get firewood anywhere and just make some small fires, which in itself is amazing. And then we have our grill with us and we can just have a little bit of grilled veggies and tofu.
Yeah, baby. Look at this amazing kitchen. Today's menu.
New try with the wide angle lens. You wanna come closer and we'll see how the focus looks too? Oh my god. Manual focus. As if I'm using the vintage lens. Holy shit, this looks good.
We arrived at a super beautiful campsite near Twyfelfontein, right? Is that the name?
Yeah.
Which is in the middle of Damaraland. And we're here for a special type of elephants that over many generations have adapted to living in this kind of desert environment, which is really special. Apparently they have like extra long legs and wide feet to like walk a lot from one watering spot to the next. And tomorrow morning we're gonna go on an early morning safari to see if we can find them.
How does that relate to Salvador Dali?
I don't know. Long legs?
Long-legged elephants.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. I think we might be able to see the Magellanic Clouds here.
Ooh.
Which he showed us yesterday. And then, but they're not actually nebulae, he said. He said they are dwarf galaxies.
Who's he?
Paul, our buddy from yesterday. Yeah.
Our grill buddy.
Our grill buddy, astronomy buddy, photography buddy.
Paul, we miss you. Where are your breads?
Yeah, Paul was really fun to hang out with. I really enjoy grilling. I think we should do that much more often. And like a small fire cozies up everything even more. Alright.
There is something about making a campfire that sets the scene for deeper conversations. Even though we've only been in this country for a week, We've seen a lot of it. There is so much obvious natural beauty to be admired here. But when spending time in Namibia and learning about its history, you also can't help but reflect how all of this came to be and how we relate to it.
I can see it in the video how my feet get charred as well.
I think Namibia is just so far amazing for camping.
Yeah.
Because very often
True.
you have these private like kitchen or sink or even toilet and shower blocks
Yeah.
right next to your car. You
Yeah.
know, it's like amazing.
Yeah. I fully agree.
In Europe, you often, you're like hutje-mutje, really close next to each other. And hundreds of people share like 5 toilets.
Yeah.
But this type of camping here is really in line with the amount of space that is available,
Yeah.
which is great.
Learning a bit about the history here too. Not just Namibia, but Africa in general. Did you know it's not a country? As a German and Dutchy, or in general as a European, just learning about, I think, I had it in history class, but I don't think you really process it that much when you're that young, I think.
Yeah.
Especially in Germany, there's much more focus on the Second World War, of course. Understandably, I guess, in a way, but learning as an adult about like the Scramble for Africa, is what you called it, right? The Berlin Conference. Horrible. And to just think how, imagine, like we're mad at our leaders for stupid decisions, but like something like that, imagine that happens now. It's like
Yeah.
insane.
Just like a dozen white men sitting around a table and deciding where to carve lines on this continent
Yeah.
through the middle of, kingdoms or ethnic groups,
Tribes, yeah.
cultures, languages, nature.
And you still have consequences now,
Yeah.
100 years later, 150 years later.
That's why we kind of started this book, Africa is Not a Country, which is a book that came out like many years ago, I think. But even here in Namibia, the ramifications are still felt and seen.
A very sensitive topic, of course. You have to like, I don't even know how much as a foreigner you can get into these topics.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe, definitely not while eating a barbecue sausage.
Vegan sausage. Oh.
The next morning, we shivered our way towards where the guide had last seen the giants we were looking for. Where we given blankets.
And I really need it. I didn't grab a jacket like a fool.
It's cool.
It's so cold.
Right now, we are driving through Damaraland, a rugged, pristine area of northwest Namibia. It's one of the driest places on the African continent. And yet, a small group of about 150 determined elephants managed to survive here. To see the most undisturbed herds, you'll have to take a plane up to the Skeleton Coast, one of the most inhospitable coastlines on Earth, where cars simply don't reach. But today, we're going to visit a more accessible population that roams right here, along the dried-up Huab Riverbed. We saw the first elephant. We're getting close.
Don't tell Bear Grylls.
What?
Don't tell Bear Grylls.
Why?
There's this one episode where he like squeezes it out, drink water out of it.
Hey. Yes. With the big round ones.
Good. Look at this giant.
One of the most thrilling phases of going on safari is the one before you see the animals. When the tension rises because the tracks are fresh and all of your senses are on high alert, tuned into the wilderness. In this case, we were literally on the elephant's heels. All tracks were pointing in one direction. Our driver has identified fresh footprints. They are huge. There's another car, maybe there on the left. We are really close. The only question now was, who's going to spot the first one? See one.
Oh, why do you see what? Oh,
yeah. There. But.
I have but.
Oh,
On your front road.
So close. As we know from our other safari experiences, like visiting Kruger National Park in South Africa, we expected our truck to stop and keep some distance for observation and photographs. But our guide clearly had other plans. We slowly moved further up the riverbed, while she seemed to plan our next move. I got the feeling that today, we were not just going to admire elephants, we were really going to meet them up close. What we weren't prepared for was just how close they would get to us. They stay so calm. And the crazy thing was, the elephants didn't seem to mind. You may not notice it at first, but these elephants look different from the ones you'd see in other countries. Over generations, they have been quietly rewritten by their environment, the desert. They have longer legs to cover vast distances, wider feet for the loose sand, bodies leaner than any other elephant, and an almost supernatural memory, knowing exactly where water hides underground, which route their great-grandparents walked before them. They didn't just survive this landscape, they learned it by heart. And none of it would be possible without the people who chose to share their home with them. Damaraland is one of the only places in southern Africa where wildlife roams completely outside of national parks or private game reserves. There are no fences, just open land, shared between people and the animals. And this didn't happen by accident. After decades of poaching and civil war had pushed these elephants to the edge of extinction, Namibia made a radical decision in the 1990s. Give the land back to the communities and let them decide what it's worth. Oh, he's pooping. He's walking and pooping. Today, this means the elephants don't just pass through here, they live here. In the same valleys, drinking from the same water sources and walking through the same villages as the people who call this place home. Even at our camp, we heard the story of a herd that came through just last year. And in their curiosity, or maybe just their sheer size, they ended up breaking a water pipe in the camp. Look at this baby. But here's what Namibia figured out that most of the world still hasn't. If the community owns the wildlife, legally, financially, and meaningfully, then a broken pipe becomes worth it. Because the elephants bring the tourists in, and the tourists bring income that builds schools, funds, game guards, and keeps this place overall alive. We didn't speak the same language as our guides, but watching them track movements, read the landscape, and point out which individual elephant was which, it was so obvious. Our guides knew these elephants by name and their personality. And that makes this not just their job, but an important relationship built over generations.
Too close.
And then, without warning, we got to experience the closeness of that relationship. It seemed the elephants wanted to know us too.
God.
Oh, crunchy. She could have just bumped the cart inside if she wanted to. How was it to be like right next to an elephant?
That was insane. I could have touched her. That's how close she was. She was like literally like, like this far away. Like, here.
We've never been so close to elephants before. And thanks to Namibia's unique conservation model, clearly the elephants were comfortable with being close to us too. At some moments a bit too comfortable.
Living the dream.
It was amazing to meet them, make eye contact, and see the details of the lines on their tough skin. Even though we could watch them for hours, our guide decided to move on. Because, believe it or not, we were going to take a rest stop nearby. And we were allowed to go out of the car.
I've lost already one. I'm missing one. You want to be in the sun?
Yeah, I'm a bit cold. I forgot long sleeve.
Okay, folks, let's stand here. Yeah. Okay, family, basically, elephants are 80% human being.
Wow, we're just walking in the wild land of the elephants. We just had to take a pee. And we could just go behind a bush. Because, well, there are not any dangerous animals here, except for the elephants, which are still quite far away from us. Wow, amazing. It's just insane to walk around here in the footsteps of elephants. We drove back down the Huab Riverbed and past some thorny bushes that our guide just kept referring to as, "I hope she sees these good ones." Apparently, they were elephant food. But elephants aren't the only animals roaming this riverbed. We stumbled upon another creature perfectly adapted to conquer this harsh desert environment. After all, the Huab Riverbed only becomes an actual river for about 2 weeks a year. The rest of the time, it exists only underground. And the elephants know exactly where to find it. Just a few minutes later, the Ellies caught up with us again. And with our vehicle parked right in the middle of their path, they were overtaking us from all sides, giving us another chance to marvel at them.
Wow, it's peeling.
A lot of tea.
Wow,
It's like me at night.
and pooing.
I hope we don't have to smell that.
Did you film the elephant part?
Yeah. They made sure to leave a trail for the next group of admirers. And then they went on, further up the riverbed, leaving us behind. Wow, seeing these elephants up close, and they came so close, really mind-blowing. They just take your breath away with their size and their calm presence. Yeah, I barely have the words for it.
Yeah.
Wow.
You want a photo of you?
Please.
The window.
Also feels really good to know that these elephants are well protected by the Conservancy systems that they have set up here. Really great of Namibia to arrange their land and ownership of the animals and the wildlife like that. That's very unique.
Yeah.
They don't leave without us.
Oh, they know us. Oh yeah, they're already in the car.
Yeah. So, what did you think of the video? Let us know, please. I have a little news about the future upcoming videos. Because our journey in Namibia did not end here in Damaraland. We still went further up north to Etosha National Park, where you can find Namibia's biggest concentration of wildlife. And it was super amazing. But we are currently really far behind with editing our videos, so I'm going to speed things up a little bit. I'm going to release a couple of shorts or short videos about our time in Etosha National Park, but the next upcoming long form video is going to be about the next chapter in our lives, which happened after Namibia. And that was that we moved to Cape Town and lived there for a couple of months. We have so much to share about that time there, what it was like to live in Cape Town, South Africa, and what we learned there, what we did there, what we liked, what we did not like, and we realized the start of one of our biggest dreams in Cape Town. So stick around for the next videos, and until then, don't forget to leave us a like, a comment about what you thought of the video, and consider subscribing to come along. It helps us a lot. Thank you.